The Google Pixel 4 has come straight out of nowhere, and I thought it'd be a good idea to compare the latest Google device with its Apple opposite, the iPhone SE 2. Now, I know that there are dozens of speed tests, performance comparisons, reviews, and other such content on the platform, but in this video, I hope to give you guys my own thoughts on the two adversaries without actually having either of them. Without any further ado, let's get into this comparison. Hey everyone, my name is DOJO MOJO. The first phone I'll be talking about is obviously the Google Pixel 4a. This phone's got a 5.8 inch Full HD OLED display and 8 megapixel front facing camera and a tiny hole punch cutout on the display, a camera bump with a single 12 megapixel rear facing camera and flash, a plastic unibody, a fingerprint sensor, a 3140 mAh battery, 6 gigabytes RAM and 128 gigabytes storage, and a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G processor. Oh, and don't forget, it's got the long forgotten and abandoned 3.5mm headphone jack. I know, it's always a joy to hear a smartphone's got that feature in it. All of these features come at the price of $349 US. That's a whole Pixel 4a spec sheet broken down for y'all, but let's take a look at what the competition's got. The iPhone SE has got a 4.7 inch liquid retina display, that's just LCD for you losers, a giant bezel that houses the front facing camera, stereo speaker and home button, an aluminum bod, a single 12 megapixel rear facing camera with flash, a fingerprint sensor built into the home button, wireless charging capabilities, a 1821 mAh battery, 3 gigabytes RAM for every single configuration, and up to 256 gigabytes storage, and an A13 Bionic processor. Oh, and no headphone jack, unfortunately. Sorry guys, but it seems that Apple's continuing their persistent assault on the 3.5mm headphone jack, and you might as well just get used to the dongles and wireless earbuds and headphones that are available on the market right now. All these features come at the price of $399 US. Now for my thoughts. I'd go for the Google Pixel 4a straight up. Not only is it a decent amount cheaper than the iPhone SE 2020, but it's got pretty much all you want from a budget smartphone and a little smudge more. For one thing, the camera is a total beast, at least from what I've heard and seen, and takes higher quality photos with better color balance than the iPhone in some environments. Its video recording, on the other hand, isn't so good, but it's not horrible and we'll likely see improvements with future software updates, considering Google's all about amping up the software aspect of these smartphones. It's also got a larger display than the iPhone SE 2. I understand that some people can deal with a small display, but for me, I just appreciate the larger screen real estate, and I think that it's a lot better for video streaming, gaming, and handling. If you think about it, your phone's being confined to this extremely small space on the phone isn't the most appealing in my opinion. I would talk about the higher memory on the Pixel 4a, but I realized late into writing the script that Apple's iPhones do pretty well with incredibly small memory by today's standards, so I wouldn't really say that either does better in this aspect. The storage situation, on the other hand, makes the Pixel 4a particularly attractive because you're getting 128 gigs of storage at $349 rather than at $449 with the iPhone SE 2. That decision was likely one of the moves Google made to undercut the iPhone SE 2, considering the price range both brands are appealing to. Furthermore, the phone itself is a lot more modern looking in comparison to the iPhone SE 2 as well. The Pixel 4a's got a rock solid hole punch cutout and much smaller bezels in comparison to the iPhone SE 2, which rocks an outdated design that I think should go the way of the CD-ROM port on laptops. It also doesn't look cheap even at the price point it holds because of the modern aesthetic, and I think that's something budget-minded folk will appreciate. I mean, like, just because a phone is affordable doesn't mean it has to look cheap, am I right? Speaking of looks, I think the plastic unibody of the Pixel 4a does make the phone look a bit basic, but considering that this phone was made with basic in mind and appealing to those who just want a phone that works without all of the extra gimmicks, enhancements of the back wouldn't do the phone justice. The matte black looking plastic back worked well within the overall design philosophy of the Pixel 4a in my opinion. Now, I'm not totally impressed by the chipset of the Pixel 4a and believe the iPhone SE 2 totally dominates in this aspect. But if I'm being totally honest with y'all, what the heck did y'all expect? Sure, the OnePlus Nord, another budget smartphone that came out around the same time, came with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 735G, But one, that phone starts at $470 in the United States, and 2 for a phone that's $349, it makes complete sense that it come with a chipset that's 1, cost effective, and 2, sufficient for regular usage by budget consumers. I also don't think it's a total marketing killer either. Most people don't care much for chipset specs and whatnot. Finally, Google Assistant. The Pixel obviously outperforms the iPhone SE2 in this realm, being that Google Assistant is far smarter and more versatile than Siri. Not to mention, it also converses with the user more realistically than any other personal assistant out there. It obviously doesn't go as far as sounding like an actual human being, but there's been some considerable progress in this realm over the years, given that Google's software game is on point. So basically, I take the Pixel 4a over the iPhone SE in case that wasn't abundantly clear already. That's all for today, folks. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with others interested. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos I have on the channel. Keep yourselves entertained while staying indoors. This is DOJO MOJO signing out.